You push open the cottage door, and bam, the cold sucker punches you right in the lungs. Your breath crystallizes instantly, like you just stepped into a freezer someone forgot to defrost for about a century. The yard is silent except for the creak of frost-stiff leather on your boots. Your toes are already negotiating terms of surrender. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barks. A reminder that yes, other living things are also regretting their life choices this morning. The well is only 50 yards away, but it feels like a hike across Antarctica if Antarctica had the added bonus of smelling faintly of manure. The rope burns your hands even through your mittens, and you pray the bucket hasn't frozen solid inside the well again. Because if it has, congratulations. You're now holding an ice cube the size of a toddler, and you still have to find water for cooking, cleaning, and maybe, just maybe, a sip to thaw your own frozen tongue. Remember, there's no kitchen sink to run hot water from. The hot tap is literally a pot you've heated over the fire, if you've managed to keep that fire alive since dawn. And don't even think about wasting it on luxuries like a warm face wash. In winter, bathing is optional, and by optional, I mean scheduled sometime in late spring. Water fetched, fingers numb, and dignity in tatters, you stagger back inside. The day's just begun, but you've already fought nature and a large chunk of your own will to live. Next, we tackle the one thing that kept medieval peasants alive in winter more than anything else: food. And spoiler, it's less feast and more please don't make me eat cabbage again. You set the bucket down and head toward the pot hanging over the fire. It's been simmering since, honestly, who remembers? Could be yesterday, could be last week. Medieval cooking was basically keep adding water until nobody dies. Inside, chunks of cabbage, maybe a carrot, suspicious bone, or two left over from a chicken you haven't seen since November. The broth is thin but hot, and that's all that matters. The steam hits your face, smelling of onions, meat, and something vaguely smoky. You take a sip. It's salty, bland, comforting. It's gonna be breakfast, lunch, and dinner again. Sometimes you get bread, but in winter, it's so dense and hard you could use it as a weapon. Dip it in the stew long enough, though, and it goes from projectile to chewy. Progress. Winter diets relied on whatever you'd managed to store from harvest. Salted meat, dried beans, turnips, onions, and whatever root vegetables survived in the cellar. Fresh fruit? Only if you're dreaming. Sugar? Forget it. It wasn't about gourmet flavors. It was about not starving. And honestly, when the wind outside sounds like it tried to eat your house, even a bowl of lumpy cabbage water feels like a small miracle. Now that you're fed, sort of, you face the rest of the day, repairing tools, tending animals, maybe patching your drafty walls with whatever fabric scraps you can find. And when night falls, you start the whole cycle over again. Because in the medieval winter, survival wasn't a moment. It was a full-time job. Next, we'll wrap this journey up by asking, could you survive just one medieval winter's night? And spoiler, your Netflix habit isn't going to help. The day ends where it began, huddled near the hearth, wrapped in scratchy wool, listening to the icy night creep against the walls. Outside, the world is silent except for the occasional snap of a tree branch under the weight of snow. You lie back on your straw mattress, every joint stiff, every breath a small cloud. The fire's embers glow like tiny suns, and you think, if they go out, you might not wake up. Now, imagine you in this scene. No phone, no hitir blanqui, no midnight snack run to the fridge. Just the dark, the cold, and the stubborn will to see morning. Could you do it? Could you last just one night like this? Drop your answer in the comments. Be honest. And no, I just turned up a thermostat does not count. We live in an age where warmth is a switch away. Food comes from a doorbell ring, and winter is mostly an aesthetic for Instagram. But for medieval peasants, every cold night was a battle. And every morning they woke up, still breathing, was a victory. So next time you sip your coffee in a cozy sweater, maybe raise a toast to the people who endured winters without any of our modern comforts. They survived so we could sit here warm and fed and tell their stories. If you enjoyed this journey into the frozen past, hit that like button, subscribe for more gritty history, and share this with a friend who complains when it drops below 60 degrees. Until next time, stay curious and stay warm.